Hello everyone, greetings from Pakistan.
I'm Rana Abouelhagag from Israel.
Hi, my name is Aljaž. I come from Slovenia.
I am Doris Fatima Weber.
So welcome everyone. My name is Rana and I am a program coordinator at MCID Washington, where I help implement the International Visitor Leadership Program, also known as IVLP, which is the US Department of State's premier professional exchange program. Today, I am delighted to be joined by Ms. Kofoworola Belo-Osagie from Nigeria, who is an IVLP alum who participated in the virtual Edward R. Murrow Program for journalists, covering the topic of media responsibility in an age of disinformation. She is a chief correspondent at The Nation, a Nigerian newspaper, where she edits the weekly education magazine of the paper. Kofoworola, thank you so much for joining me today. The first thing I would like to ask you is if you could please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your profession and all the incredible work that you are currently doing.
I'm Kofoworola Belo-Osagie. It's quite a mouthful. Kofoworola. It means it's a literal meaning for something you don't buy wealth in the Yoruba culture. It's like I'm so blessed that so many things come to me free. Don't buy a good name, you don't buy wealth. I am a journalist. I've been a journalist for the past 16 years, and I've covered education for most of it. And my responsibilities include covering news events related to education mostly, writing stories, news and feature stories, investigating issues. Then when I'm done with the field work, I come back to the office, I face the production. I head the team, so I have to coordinate all the stories we get from across Nigeria related to education, speak with the correspondent, follow up on issues, tell them if there's a story of interest from another state as a correspondent there to pursue it. Then I do the editing. It's like when the stories come to me, they become my story because the correspondent is not there to take to editors. I have to make the story. I have to understand what it will be friendly. So and then I coordinate I monitor the production flow, the copy flow from all the editors, the pictures, the captions, and when it's done, I will submit. My job is done for the week. Then go back to the field and chase more stories.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I also love the bit that you just said about how when you take on a story, it becomes your story, which shows like the personal connection that you have to journalism and this field. So thank you for sharing that. I guess my next question would be, how and when did you come into this field?
Okay, I started my journalism career after my studies. I studied mass communication in Nigeria from the Auchi Polytechnic. After I was done, in Nigeria, you do a national service. All graduates of Nigerian universities and polytechnics go to serve in a different state to learn about the culture. So when you are done, you can now start your career. So I started my career after that 1 year of national service as an English teacher in the village. So when I started my career, because I studied mass communication, I was trained to be a journalist, and starting work in a newspaper was because a friend, a classmate, came over to me and said, let's go and check for this job. And I'm like, I didn't think I was going to be a reporter. I thought I was going to do more like advertising, but like, let's go. We're looking for a job after all. About a year, that was a month after our service. So we got to the paper, asked us to come back to do some tests. Because I was not enthusiastic, I asked for so much. I said, we can't do a test today. Please, let's come back. In about a month, we'll be prepared. But when the editor heard, said, what? People are looking for jobs. You want a month to prepare for test? Come back tomorrow. So we got back. we went back. We went back the next day, and we were told to write two pieces. And after writing, where both of us were invited to start as rookie reporters on probation for 1 month. After 1 month, I was given my appointment letter. And the journey started, and I saw that it was nothing I knew about from outside. I saw that you could do a lot. You could be challenged. There was a lot of opportunities. You could win awards. You could network. You meet a lot of people. And I love learning. I love meeting people. That, in fact, if I said that's the best part of the job for me, learning, because you go so many. I laugh, I cry. People win when I cover competitions, and people win. I will cry, I will jump, I'll try. Then when I get back to my desk, I want to write it and make the reader feel as if he was there. You know, that's the feeling I get. So that was the exciting part of the job for me.
Wow.
And I've been there on and on in the past 16 years.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And like your journey to how you got here today, and also like the fact that like this field is so personal to you is so inspiring. So earlier this year, you participated in the virtual IVLP program examining media responsibility in the age of disinformation, which covered various topics from efforts at the different levels of government to counter the dissemination of disinformation and misleading reporting, to approaches on building trust between the media, government, and citizens. So can you tell me a little bit about how your experience in this program went, and maybe what your favorite parts or most memorable part of it was?
Virtual. I wish it wasn't, because all the same, I was able to get some value out of it. For me, the first thing was learning the difference between disinformation and misinformation. I just couldn't wrap my head around it before, but it was broken down so simply that I now understood that misinformation can be errors you make along the line of passing across information to the audience, and disinformation can be a deliberate intent to misinform people, to tell lies, to confuse people, to derail the public. So for me, that was like, I've been hearing the two terms and I really couldn't separate, I couldn't understand the difference, but it was nice to learn that from the IVLP. And I learned about, because we interacted with many great journalists and their work and how they were doing so many extra things. So I learned about how to challenge what authorities tell you. You know, we're used to hearing we built 50 boreholes in schools, because I do schools, we distributed this, we did that, and we just write it without really going to check whether it's true or not. So after that, I took that as a note that, okay, now when they tell me we did this, I go find out that you didn't do this and ask questions. So that was also of value for me, and so many other tips about covering the government and doing great journalism generally. I hope I answered the question.
You did. That is amazing. You know, like you said, like fact checking and like holding government officials, like public figures in general, is accountable is super important to advancing knowledge and to sharing, like, you know, accurate knowledge and facts about the reality of things, especially in an age that we know as quote unquote fake news. So it sounds like you took away a lot from this, and honestly, that is amazing. How has the global pandemic impacted your work?
Wow. A lot better than when the pandemic started. I read so much, I consumed so much information from the internet. I read everything I could read when the pandemic was starting, and I tried to get ready. I tried to get prepared personally for my household. I stocked up on food, on drugs, on toiletries, on everything, even before the first case appeared in Nigeria. So about when the first case was reported, oh, I was prepared. The lockdown did not affect me because I was prepared. I was just telling everyone at home, get ready. But I think mentally, when the lockdown started, mentally it did. I kind of broke down. I At the point in time I was crying. I was like, there's so much that was not in place in Nigeria, the healthcare. If we got overwhelmed, we're in trouble. Seeing what was happening in Italy in the early days of the pandemic was horrific. I think I was watching too much news. It wasn't it then because of the pandemic. At work, we had to the company decided that some people should, my paper decided some people should work from home. Some people, because I'm a desk head, I'm in charge of a desk. I had to be at work on certain days of the week.
Yeah.
And it meant that there was lockdown, so there was no movement. And I didn't have a car. So sometimes to join some of my colleagues to pick me at some pickup points, I had to walk long distances. But I love trekking as an exercise. So I didn't mind doing, so sometimes I did 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers
Oh.
trek, just trying to join a colleague. But because it's something I didn't find it as a burden as such. But then with my work, I was scared when the lockdown was lifted in Lagos. I was scared going out for events and interviewing people. I was not close. I was not used to the close contact again. How are we going to social distance? Everyone, there's so many reporters trying to get the voice of different various officials, and at the same time trying to social distance. I was afraid of getting on public transport. So sometimes I would decide to walk rather than get on the bus. So that affected me. But it's also I now learned the alternative. I learned to use Zoom. I started attending events on Zoom, doing my interviews on Zoom, and getting my stories. Then I started using the social media more. I use Twitter. There's a Twitter ban now, but then Twitter was a very good source of news for me. I looked through Twitter. I saw news trends I could follow, contacted sources, got them, interviewed them, and got stories published. So that's how I was able to manage at the beginning. So later on, I lost all the apprehension because Nigeria managed the COVID. Somehow, it wasn't as bad.
Well, I'm so glad that like you had a whole plan since before the pandemic, like just in case you went on lockdown and you were so ready. And it sounds like your work became even more interesting during the pandemic. Like you were consuming a lot of news and social media, which I imagine like social media being very central to your work, especially in an age of like,
Yeah.
discourse and a lot of polarization and whatnot taking
Yes.
globally. But yeah, no, that is amazing. I'm so happy to hear that you are healthy and that your family is doing well. From what you just said, then, do you feel like the IVLP project that you participated in has changed anything for you in your career or your networks or even your personal life?
Yes, like I said that I wish it wasn't virtual. If it were not virtual, I'm sure I would have learned a lot more, and I would have connected more with fellow participants. But notwithstanding, the lessons I learned were still very good, and making use of them like in my job.
Yeah. Well, hopefully in the future, this project will be replicated in person and you'll be invited to participate in person. So fingers crossed that actually,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah. So kind of just to pivot a little bit, in the spirit of your September Country of the Month feature, which I'm so excited that we will be featuring you, what are some things you would like to share about Nigeria that maybe Americans or others may not know about?
Nigeria. Nigeria is a very interesting place. Yes, we have our challenges, but it's even I have traveled to many places. I've been to the US on programs and some other countries, South Africa, Dubai, and everything. And when I'm out of the country, I actually miss home. So that's to show that no matter the challenges, that this is still home. And I miss our food the most. I will not trade Nigerian food for for foreign food. For no. It's as far as I'm concerned, we've got it here. It's the best. Oh, I'm sure you've heard about our jollof rice. If we ever get to me, just ask me to cook you jollof rice, cook you a goosey soup, and and some of our starch food, that carbohydrates, the swallows, that we have the eba, we have amala, we have pounded yam, and some others. And if I ever should host a visitor, I'm going to spoil you silly with food. Cook all kinds of Nigerian for you. I'll cook it, and when you know that yes, there's something in our food. Nigerian food is delish,
Fire.
lovely, and then of course, our fashion. We are very vibrant people. We love colors and very very creative, and our music too is very vibrant and beautiful. And our people are warm. We are warm. We are welcoming. We are hardworking. We are creative. There may be challenges with people that do the wrong thing, but it's not everyone. It's not everybody. So I think that I'll tell the any visitor, have an open mind. Have an open mind towards whoever you meet, and and judge accordingly. But I'm telling you, enjoy so many things about Nigeria.
Well, I love that for you. And Nigeria, personally, for me, has always been a country that I've been so fascinated by. So I look forward to maybe finally meeting you in person, and you show me all of your rich foods and culture and everything.
Yes.
So, I love that. Thank you for feeding our
And
curiosity.
maybe I'll if an American is to come, I would advise you to attend the Nigerian wedding.
Oh my gosh, yes. I've heard amazing things about those.
Oh no, the traditional wedding, beautiful, colorful. You need to attend one.
I will, for sure. Yeah, so thank you for sharing all of that. I love that. I'm really excited now. So before we wrap up, are there any, would you like to shout out any of your personal or your organization's social media handles to link down below?
Okay, organizations where I work at the Nation, very beautiful, vibrant platform, and you are given opportunities to. Oh, sorry. I'm coming. Okay. I know they've come. They're bored. Okay, say hello and go and get your drink. Hello. Here's my daughter. So I'll shout out to the Nation because it's been a vibrant, challenging paper, keep challenging to do more. Then to my journalist, my mentor in journalism is, funny enough, I don't think she must have retired now. She was my boss as an intern, and she drilled me, helped me to write better. Her name is Njideka, and I've always looked for an opportunity to say thank you to her, and she really helped me she built my foundation, my writing foundation.
Well, that is all I have for now. Kofoworola, thank you so much again for joining us and participating.
Thank you.
If you ever visit DC or the US in the near future, the team at MCID Washington will be waiting to welcome you.
Yes, I will check you out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.